Hi, today is June 4th, 2023, and here are my poems for the day. The first one is poem number 908 for the year, Goes to Show. Well, there was a pigeon and ducks and a goose, and they was all hanging out by the water. The pigeon was on the railing being like, "What the fuck are you looking at?" And the goose was pretending to ignore the ducks. But nobody was fooled, and there were ducks on the dock and ducks swimming around, and it was kind of beautiful the way all these different birds could all just get along and chill out as the sun was setting last night. It goes to show something. I don't know what it goes to show, but it goes to show something. Poem number 909, Shows. Shows can go to show something. I have 2 shows coming up. I wonder what they will show. I wrote some poems inspired by a graphic novel called Gender Queer by Maia Kobabe, and I will be performing them with Susan Hwang and Marlon Cherry next Saturday at 7 at the LGBT Center on 13th Street in New York City as part of a Bushwick Book Club show. And then next month I'll be performing in Islington. I just found out about that this morning. Like I woke up and found out that I'm on the bill with the Priscillas at the Hope and Anchor in Islington, London on July 13th. I woke up and I have a show which goes to show something, but I don't know what. Poem number 910, About That Thing. E found that E was able to stop thinking about that thing. There was a thing that for a while E couldn't stop thinking about, and then a couple of mornings ago E realized that it had been weeks since E had thought about that thing. This was a tremendous relief to E, as E had been unable to stop thinking about that thing for months. But a couple of mornings ago, when E realized that it had been weeks since E had thought about that thing, E was not only relieved, E was excited with a capital E, and quite full of joy. Ever since that morning, a couple of mornings ago, E has been unable to think about how E was no longer thinking about that thing. And E found that E was ambivalent about that. Poem number 911, The Great Secret. The Great Secret. She whispered so softly in my ear that I could barely hear. "Look here," she said, "deep down inside, where the truest truths only seem to hide. They are actually waiting for you to wait for them, and then they will come. This is the great secret, but the great secret is not really a secret at all." I whispered back about this mystery. "If it's not a secret, then why are we whispering?" And she whispered back, and I barely heard her say, "Isn't it more fun this way?" Poem number 912, To Go On. He wanted to go on, but he didn't want to go on and on about wanting to go on. He just wanted to go on. Poem number 913, Not Much to Go On. She wanted to go on, but she didn't have much to go on. It seemed to her as if maybe she didn't have enough to go on, but she found that with what little she had, she could generate enough to go on, and then she went on. And the last poem of the day, poem number 914, On Too Long. He was afraid that his worst feelings had been realized. His worst fears. He was afraid that his worst fears had been realized, and that he had overstayed his welcome, and that he had gone on too long. He had every intention of continuing, and imagined that he would probably go on and on and on for quite a while longer. He would linger as long as he liked. He would linger even longer than he liked. His plan continued to be to go on as long as he could, because there was something about going on that always eventually made him glad that he did. So he would go on, and perhaps going forward he might even go on and on and on about going on, whether in fact he had gone on too long or not. All right, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate you. I do. Next Saturday, 7 o'clock, LGBT Center on 13th Street, New York City. Gender queer poems, songs, and people performing about gender queer.